said, I wanted to give you a quick tutorial on how we make our coronavirus masks. They're pretty simple and easy to do. I'm going to walk you through the steps. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to obviously cut out your pattern pieces. You also need 2 pieces of 1/4 inch elastic, each 6 inches long. You also need a pipe cleaner or comparable wire, also 6 inches long. And then for the elastic under the chin, you also need 1.5 inches of 1/4 inch elastic. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to connect all of the center seams, both the center front and the center back seams on all the pieces. Keep in mind that for all of these seam allowances, we're using 1/4 inch, which is basically just the edge of the presser foot. If you're mass producing these, I recommend doing all of each step for all of your masks first and then going back and doing the next step rather than trying to complete one mask all at the same time. Okay, once you've got your masks sewn together in the center, you're going to want to finger press the seam allowance to one side and then edge stitch, top stitch right next to the center seam. You don't want to use an iron because it will melt the non-woven polypropylene fabric. Your next step is to attach your ear elastics. So you're going to go ahead and go 1/4 inch in from the top of your mask and just tack this really quickly. Again, using 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then making a loop from the bottom, you're also going to tack it as well. Like this. You'll do the same on the other side. So this is done. In production, what I have found is that I'm able to do this step and the next step all in one go, but just for sake of clarification, I'm gonna break it down like this. All right, the next thing that you need to do is you need to have your bottom and your top. And when you're finished, you want the top to be over the bottom when it's right side out, but when you're sewing right sides together, the bottom is gonna go over the top. You'll find that there are little notches on your pattern that you can line up at the edge, and then you're going to line it up with the edge of your front. If you need to, you can stick a pin there, and you're just going to sew the sides again using the 1/4 inch seam allowance. we'll do the other side. Again, lining up the notches on the edge and then the edge notch on your front piece. You can have a pin if you'd like, and sewing again the side together. Once you've completed the sides, you're now ready to connect your front. If you'd like, you can put a pin in the center seams to hold them together while you sew. The great thing about this non-woven fabric is that it's not prone to stretching, so you shouldn't have too hard of a time, but just for that extra assurance, we're sewing at 1/4 of an inch. And I like to do a little backward forward at the nose bridge just to give it a little extra security. On the top, and now we'll do the same thing on the bottom. Again, if you would like to connect it with a pin, you may. Again, a little backward forward at the center seam. Okay, now the last step to do before you turn your mask right side out is to attach your elastic for your chin. You're going to tack one end, and then you're going to pull the elastic as you sew. And you're sewing this on the seam allowance, just like so. It kind of just gives it a little extra there. So then you will turn your mask right side out. Again, you can finger press all of this because you're not going to want to use an iron. Your mask will melt with the heat of the iron, but your finger heat is the perfect amount to get everything nice and crisp. Like so. So you can just kind of roll the edges to make sure you're, especially on the top, have a very clean edge, because the next step is that you're going to top stitch 1/4 of an inch away from the very top, 3 inches from the center front on either side, so that you can insert your wire. So you can measure 3 inches. And make sure you secure right at the very end, because you don't want the thread to break when you are inserting your wire. And I use a generous 1/4 inch on this just to make sure that there's plenty of room for the wire to pass through. Like so. So we've got this channel that we've created. Your next step is to bend the first 1/4 inch of your pipe cleaner. You want to do this so that the little pointy bits of the pipe cleaner don't go into the fabric and rivet. You want it to just be a smooth edge so it's easy to insert. You'll open up your pocket that you've created and then put the folded end of the pipe cleaner into the little channel. You'll find it goes quite easily. If you have any problems when you get to the nose bridge, you'll just find that wiggling it a little bit tends to help. And then you can get it through quite easily. Once it's all the way through, you're completely done. You can then mold the nose wire to fit your nose. If you have any trouble with the mask being slightly too big, since we have made this one size, you can also do a little loop knot in the elastic like this, and it's adjustable. The light went off, so I guess that means that I am done with this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you can, please donate at the link below. We would love to keep producing these masks for as long as they're needed. Thank you so much for your support.